and like knowing that, seeing like your growth like within church and all that, like within the music, and then until you took that time to step out of like the church for a bit too,
Mhm.
like did it impact like your sound in a sense and like the way you kind of like define music?
Um, Stepping out of church to make music is still kind of informed by how I operated within church, right? Because that, like, I didn't go to a music school. I wasn't classically trained. I was trained in church. So a lot of the ways I approach music is from that, and which is like school, right? It's where you learn, for lack of a better word, showmanship. It's where you learn how to construct a song, or how to prolong a song, or when to. It's where you learn how to perform. And learning how to perform also requires you to know how to. It requires you to know how to, like where does the song work here, and how does it work here? How does it work with this? How does Yeah. So like I would still say it still informs everything. And I still do play at I still get hired to play at some churches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like it's never quite left.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like within like the right moment and all that too. And like I know
Mhm.
even the idea of like the foundation of like church and religion,
Mhm.
like I know some people like still use it as like a basis and all that too, but
Yeah.
do you feel like it's still needed nowadays as like a basis for like our lives and all that, and how we conduct, operate ourselves and all that?
That's a very interesting question, cuz I'm sure, I don't know if everybody else feels like this, but I feel like church has kind of left the mainstream of everything and everyone, and I say that more as a and a lot for good reason and a lot for bad reasons. um and I get it because like I've gone through a time where I wrestle with my faith. I wrestle with the book that I've been provided. I wrestle with concepts and philosophies, and I feel like that is normal if you are looking for something. The problem is not necessarily that church is left. The problem is that it hasn't been replaced with anything of substance.
Yeah.
Like I mean, for some people, some people have replaced it with stoicism, and that's great. Some people have replaced it with like their like they've replaced religion and their pastor with safe speak and their therapist. So their therapist is their new minister. But here's the problem: just like pastors, not every therapist is good, right? Period. I have a great therapist. Um, but I think a good therapist is someone that helps you be constructive with yourself, right? Not somebody that is there to coddle you or say you have the right to not make better of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And like once again, I feel like it has just been replaced by nothing. And because it's been replaced by nothing, everything is a free for all. You can see it with who young people now, and when I say young people, I mean like people that are in high school. You could see it with like who parents are scared like that their kid is following, right? It's just like, so one big thing from the past few years was the advent of Andrew Tate. And it's just like, if you don't understand why Andrew Tate works, you're also part of the problem as to why these kids are even gravitating to someone like him,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know what I mean? Or if you don't understand, like, or right down to, oof, I'm nervous about saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you can't understand why Kamala lost, right? Like the election, if you can't understand that, then you are not paying attention to the people who vote, right? And it's just like, I'm not saying that God is the reason, like God left the room and now all hell is broken loose. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the morals and virtues that people stand behind, they are treating it less like a philosophy to follow and they are treating it more like a gang. Like if I see you like and you are wearing the wrong color, like it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like instead of like having healthy discourse, right? None of this like leaving like society, like people leaving the church and leaving religion and all that. It like once again, I understand why people did it, but I don't think it's made things better.
Yeah,
Period.
exactly.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's made people more accepting of other cultures, more accepting of other subcultures, more accepting of different people. I think it's further divided us. But like that's it's not just church. It's an amalgamation of a bunch of
Pretty
things,
much, yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's a bunch of things. Like
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting to watch now as a father. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. And it's
Yeah.
all about like, the idea of like leading by example too, because like not everyone can like lead by example on
Yeah.
how they see like the faith and all that. Because like there are like some pastors and some teachers who are meant to
Yeah.
provide this like safe space for people to like learn and take on like this like knowledge, whether it's like formal education of God or formal
Yeah.
education of just like regular like stuff and all that. But then when they kind of deviate from that opposite and all that too, that's when like some people like they might have like these like trust issues too. And like
Yeah,
I've been like seeing like
course.
these like videos on like these like blog posts where like I think there was like a video where a pastor had to bring someone up because she was like pregnant and all that. This was like a 19,
Oh
20-year-old
yeah,
girl.
I just saw that, bro.
and-
Like that is like seeing that. It's just like, yeah, of course people are gonna leave the church.
Yeah.
Of course people are gonna demonize that. Like once again, that sort of thing is not exclusive to the church, right? Like you see those kind of shamings happen in politics. You see that kind of thing happen in business. You see there's something morally wrong. There's something morally not lining up with today's day and age. Like it's like nobody has morals. Or matter of fact, the morals that they believe that they do have, they believe are superior. But like that is the antithesis of what morality is.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking that you're superior. You know what I mean? So like, but that particular situation made me so mad. Like, cause I've seen it and I'm just like, man, I've seen this situation play out before and it's wrong. It is wrong.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to announce. And then a lot of times like, and this is where the wrestling comes in, like announcing it and then blaming it on the girl as if the girl was the only participant. I know somebody who was unfortunately like, I mean, they received their baby in probably the worst way that somebody can receive something like that. Right. And it's just like, and was still shamed for it. It's just like, are you out your skull? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then the guy doesn't even get shamed in the same way.
Because this is like before marriage and all that too. And
Fam, like
it also, I guess it also happened in your family as well too. Like you've seen like
I've seen all of this.
Yeah.
Everything bad that I've ever seen in my life, whether it's like a moral problem, a physical problem, a mental problem, everything I've seen it happen in church. Period. Like all these different things. I've seen it happen within the church, whether it was my family or another family or whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen it. So it's just like, yeah. Now that's just my experience. I know some people that have had very terrible experiences. Like, you know what I mean? And forget who I know. Like it's well documented. Like, and once again, this is not just like, for an example, Christianity. This is all religions, right? People like, I mean, the Catholic Church, like crazy allegations and then crazy like ways to handle it where they just ship the pastor to somewhere else. That's wild, bro. Like, and once again, not just Catholic priests, like they do it in every religion. Anywhere where power is being handed out, somebody is taking advantage of it. Yeah. And that maybe that's the main issue. It's where power is lying and where we think it is versus where it actually is.
Yeah, exactly.
And what we think the end goal is versus what it actually is.
Exactly. Man.
So
That's
Yeah.
facts.